I have a good one for you. He said we should just tear this down. You can smell the rats.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is exactly what you would expect from a fascist.
Okay, so we could expect that from a fascist. What if I told you that was actually the Baltimore mayor herself, who is a person of color, who said that quote, not Donald Trump?
Well, I would say that, it's a horrible thing to say.
So what do you guys think about the Baltimore stuff in general?
Oh, God, I don't have words for, what an idiot he is. He's a just despicable human being.
So have you heard about all the controversy surrounding Trump and his comments?
Unfortunately, yes.
What do you think about it?
It's disturbing. It's not only is this disturbing as a regular citizen, but for him to be at the helm of the United States, that's for everybody. It's disturbing the words in which he used and goes out the way to use to be a that's all he is
A lot of people were saying that it was prejudice of him. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I believe that he knew what he was saying and how to say it in order to elicit the response that he wanted to, which is of the overtones.
What type of words do you think he used, talking about Baltimore specifically, that would be
infested, terrible conditions? Like, he acts like people of color only lives in slums, but yet he forget that his son-in-law, Kushner, has some of the most deplorable housing there is in Baltimore and is getting federal money for it.
He's calling it a drug-infested area.
Oh, I do remember that. Look, this is the man who said that, he doesn't want immigrants from whole countries, rather than these are human beings. Look, the man is a fascist. And he and his whole regime, they are rapidly consolidating fascism in this country, so that he would make statements like that,
Because you would say that him saying, I left my community of Baltimore a drug-infested area, that's kind of fascist.
Yeah.
So this is a quote from 1999. He's talking about Baltimore. He left Baltimore. He said, this morning I left my community of Baltimore a drug-infested area.
Well, you notice he always uses the word infest when he's referring to people of color or places where people of color live. It's such a, what's it, dog whistle to his base that
Go more into depth about that. I like that. Go more into depth about that. I like that.
Well, I mean, that's how he stirs up his base, by race baiting. And it's sickening how he's, tearing our country apart. It really is. And debasing the presidency, debasing everything, and destroying our democracy.
With this comment especially.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, it's all part of his plan. I mean, they even came out and said is their election strategy.
He said that?
Oh, no, I don't think he said that, but in the party they did, kind of admit that it's race baiting is part of their strategy to whip up their, uneducated white base.
So I want to read you this quote. They said, we should just tear this down. Oh, you can smell the rats.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he must have been talking about himself.
Okay.
He couldn't have been talking about Baltimore. He's talking about himself. Especially each district, we know that each district or cities have to come a little a better way than some others do. But still, you're the president of the United States. And if you can't find the words in which to say, okay, there's some work to need to be done, let's do it, let's pull up our sleeves, let's boost the economy, let's get these people, let's do what we need to do to uplift everyone. But he doesn't do that.
He said, we're talking about a community in which half of the people don't have jobs, a community in which there are hundreds of buildings that are uninhabitable. What do you think about those quotes?
Well, those specific quotes, I would have to say that, the way that I would, I guess, frame it is that, again, going back to trying to elicit a response, that he knew what he was saying, and he knew what the opposition and his party would say or do.
I have a good one for you. He said, we should just tear this down. You can smell the rats.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is exactly what you would expect from a fascist.
Okay, so we could expect that from a fascist. What if I told you that was actually the Baltimore mayor herself, who is a person of color, who said that quote, not Donald Trump?
Well, I would say that, it's a horrible thing to say.
Do you still think that she's a fascist?
I don't think that's not the reason I think Trump is a fascist.
It is exactly what you would expect from a fascist.
This is who he is. It's not even just the strategy, but if he said it back 10 years ago, obviously that's who he is.
What if I told you that was actually Elijah Cummings himself saying that quote in his speech?
Oh, wow. I am surprised, but
Is it still?
if Elijah Cummings said it, no, because obviously he's black and that's a predominantly black area. So no, it wouldn't be. It would be an assessment of, where he's from.
So this is a good one that I think relates to what you were saying about how he thinks black people only live in like slums and all this stuff. He said Baltimore teenagers between the ages of 15 and 19 face poorer health conditions and a worse economic outlook than those in distressed cities in Nigeria, India, China, and South Africa.
Okay. For us to be one of the richest countries, that could be true, but here's the thing. Systematic and the stuff that they put from slavery to now, those things are still in place. So people, the health care is probably 5-6 times as much for somebody of color than it is for a white person. Jobs are not in the city; they have destroyed those. So yeah, we're probably right, but we need to do something about it. Since you're the savior, as you call yourself, that you can get it done, why haven't you put your money where your mouth is prior to you becoming president of the United States? Now that you are president of the United States, you're too busy doing a Twitter war than you are doing actual policies that will lift everyone up out of poverty.
I left my community of Baltimore, a drug-infested area. That was actually Elijah Cummings himself saying that. Is Elijah Cummings a fascist of color?
Again, I don't think that a statement like that makes you a fascist or not a fascist. I think it's a whole program that makes you a fascist. I think it is a program of mass incarceration. It is a program of attacking women, bragging about grabbing pussies.
We should just tear the down. You can smell the rats.
Did he say that?
The Baltimore mayor said that herself.
Oh, wow, I'm surprised.
Is that?
No, I mean, if it's where you're from and you're calling it out for what it is, I think that's totally different.
What if I told you that the quote I just read you is actually from Bernie Sanders himself? It wasn't from Trump.
I know, it was a long time ago. But that's the truth. And there's a change. Sometimes, but see, here's the thing. As congressman,
you knew it was from Bernie Sanders?
As a congressman and a Senate, you can do things like that. You can say stuff that will shake up and try to put some laws and order in place for it to change. But when you're a president of the United States, you have to be careful about the words that you use.
So do you think there's a different meaning between Trump saying it and Bernie saying it?
No, but see, Bernie's always fought for change. Even back then, he's fought for free medical health for all. He's talked about jobs. He's been consistent.
Does it change your mind about Trump's comments then being?
Not at all, because Trump has done so much that's so obvious about targeting people of color in Congress and people of color. I mean, he targets a lot of people, granted, but he really goes after people of color. And so no, it doesn't change my mind at all.
We should just tear this down. Oh, you can smell the rats. That's from the Baltimore mayor herself.
Okay.
Are there any racial undertones in that?
I guess if those were attributable to the mayor and the mayor actually said that, again, I wouldn't say, going back to my original comment with regards to Donald Trump, I'm not saying that his comments were. What the motivation is to have people think, or the opponents to engage in a comment that they would argue that would be a comment.
Thank you for your opinions and thank you for elaborating and everything. So thank you so much. These are the people that are keeping me out here documenting everything that's going on, these crazy psycho liberals. These are the people, because they go to the store, InfoWarsStore.com, and they purchase the products. Do you guys purchase anything else besides shirts?
Super Blue toothpaste. I brush with it every day. I love it. I do the Super Male Vitality. You take that a couple times a day. Keeps
Because
me going.
everybody brushes their teeth anyway, or they should.
Yep.
So why not get your toothpaste from InfoWarsStore.com, right?
It's so easy.
And you can put it on auto ship and you never run out.
It's seriously the best toothpaste I've ever had. I love it.